But everybody knows the Esports World Cup's going on. Shout out to Optic. Hopefully they win it. Cristiano Ronaldo, like the Sue guy, he's ambassador. So, and apparently Post Malone headlined EWC, and somehow chess is a gamer sport now. I would, man, the day I see a chess player in gunner glasses, it's over. It's kind of like the Avengers are assembling, but like there's just a bunch of losers that care about it, and a bunch of celebrities that get paid like 10 million to be there. Well, I guess it is kind of like Avengers. So it kicked off in Riyadh today, and to be fair, I didn't watch much of it, but I'm gonna be watching the Call of Duty. I think they're putting a lot of money into esports. I really like that because I grew up on esports. So we'll look at the headlines, see what's on the go. So the whole EWC thing's running for weeks. Is like 25 game titles, literally anything you can think of, including like fighting games. And actually mind, but like blows my mind, 70 million in prize money. There's gonna be like 2,000 players, 200 organizations. Kind of nuts. So, like, for example, if you watched Worlds last year for League of Legends or the year before last, the big concert, and it kind of set the stage where we want esports to be, but it's kind of only there in League and somewhat Counter Strike. Well, EWC does all that, the concerts, the pyro stuff. It's absolutely beautiful. You don't believe it. We do this every time. Like the first time we actually seen like the augmented reality stuff on screen for dragons and stuff in League. We're seeing it now at EWC as well. So it's kind of sick. Yeah, and I mean they also added chess. So Magnus is now a pro gamer, which is pretty cool because he just did this.
Oh my god.
I guess if you act like that after a loss, you probably are a pro gamer because I've done that. So I know COD is in a couple weeks. And actually, there's some drama about that too, which I'll talk about. So I don't know if it's about the other esports, but definitely Call of Duty. So all 12 CDL teams, which is the franchise teams, were actually able to go, which is deadly because even if you didn't get a chance, you get a chance at EWC. Unless you made too many roster moves before the roster lock, because there was a set amount that you can make. I think it was one roster move per team. And Carolina Royal Ravens had 2 players that their contracts expired and they didn't want to stay. So they literally got disqualified because the contracts expired. That's a whole another story, but they can't go. So essentially there's 12 pro teams and 4 amateur teams. One can't go, so now it's 5 amateur teams. And it's super cool because it's literally the biggest prize pool all year. And it's not even on like American soil where the grassroots of Call of Duty esports is. I think it's super sick. I think it's putting a bunch of money into esports. I think it's cool. I'm excited to watch it. And I really like the theme they did last year with crushing the little triangles. It's cool. So when these orgs come together, the reason that you're seeing FaZe and Optic and NRG and all these people get a bunch of different teams isn't just because they want the best chance of making money. Well, it kind of is, but not in like an individual perspective. The reason they're doing this is because there's also something called the club championship. It's the event's like crown jewel, and it's like a cross game format, which is super cool. I've literally never seen it before. I don't know if they did it last year because I only watched COD, but so there's points tallied across each title for these organizations or clubs. And first prize, 7 million for the club. Second, 4 million. Third, 3 million, so on. It's not just winning in one game now. It's about winning in multiple games. It's kind of cool. But to be fair, the Falcons, who I think originated there, actually have really good teams everywhere. So I don't know. Other than COD, their COD team is not great. So like you could do really well in League, but your Apex team could do terrible. So you're not gonna make that 7 million. So think of it as like Olympics of gaming, where instead of Usain Bolt, you have Faker who's trying to solo carry his entire team to a gold medal, and then his bot lane's feeding in 4K. So the official opening ceremony took place today, which is pretty sick. Obviously, headliner Post Malone, Cristiano Ronaldo was there because he's the ambassador. I mean, so many different gaming personalities. Super cool. So obviously, all the good of 7 million for an org and the biggest prize pools and the coolest stage, it all kind of come with some negative press, like everything does. Now, not only in every single facet of esports, there are always either unregulated factors that really do play a part in negative decisions, or there are heavily regulated factors that just destroy people's careers. Like, for example, this COD thing where these people can't go to EWC because they or forced to make too many roster changes. But another thing people are saying is that some game titles feel like they're forced, which is fair, but at the same time, I'm unsure if it's just audience. I don't know. Now, number one of what people are actually seeming to argue against is Tetris. I mean, brother, you're not gonna say we're having the biggest basketball event of all time and not invite Michael Jordan and not invite LeBron to play. Like Tetris is the OG of OGs. Like it's only getting dethroned now for most copies sold by the GTA 5. And that's probably because like Skyrim, it dropped on 7 different consoles. The Tetris dropped on one thing. Well, I mean, to be fair, yes, later times it dropped on stuff, but it was big. It was big. It was big. Let it be. The other thing is chess. People are just not happy about chess. I don't really know why. Back in like Ghosts, Call of Duty Ghosts in like 2013, Optic won a gold medal at X Game. I mean, brother, if something doesn't belong somewhere, it was probably that. You have Nade Shot that's more pale than an albino deer, pulling up at 120 pounds even in an M3 comp that you're giving him a gold medal next to like Ryan Sheckler. But to be fair, it's like most people agree that it doesn't belong in esports because it's not an esport. Now, when you break that down, I think it's what electronic sport. Is that what esport is? So like you think a game that's on technology, that's what I would consider an esport. Now, do you consider chess a sport? I don't know. For me, what I consider a sport is one party versus another party, or you versus yourself, trying to get better and better over time with the utilization of some kind of either mental or physical skill. At some point, I would think probably piano or being a pianist is a sport. And a couple of more arguments that I've seen is that it doesn't fit the pacing. Yeah, okay, it might not fit the pacing of the final circle or the final storm in Warzone and Apex and Fortnite, or maybe not like a 1v1 round 11 in Call of Duty S&D. You can't tell me that doesn't hold the same at least entertainment as one of those sim racing games where there's 22 laps and you go left and then you go left and then you go left and then you go. I think it's just adding viewership, viewer demand. I think it's just a good all around good thing. I don't know. If you want my personal opinion, I think it's super cool. I think it really is like you need to be smart to play chess. And on top of that, you've seen multiple times, or at least maybe in my sheltered bubble of Twitch and YouTube, a lot of gamers do play chess. There is a lot of crossover. It's kind of like rappers and NBA stuff. Kind of a decent amount of crossover. But then you got like the classic, like Clash of Clans. You got PUBG Mobile. Those mobile games that no one really plays, or even well, people play Clash of Clans and stuff. But I mean, like it's not as popular here in the West. But it's Esports World Cup. It's not Esports USA and Canada, NA, and some EU sports world sports cup. Like there has to be a variety. I mean, League is arguably way more popular over in the West. What are they not going to have League? Because I don't know. Anyway, people are faded. There's a whole government side of this stuff too that I'm just not going to get into because I don't care about politics. But no, there's a whole government side of this which people are not happy about. Whatever. I don't care. So anyway, yes, it just kicked off today. Post Malone headlined. It was cool. I actually watched the little concert thing. Um, Valorant playoffs have begun, which is pretty cool. Club championship race is definitely started. We're at starting line right now, and she's just going. She's going. And probably in one of my following videos in the next few days, I want to talk about co-streaming and people co-streaming like Cadril or Scump, Zuma, Tarek, Onipixel. These people that are getting way more viewership than the esports sometimes, but they're doing very well. So just look out for that for EWC because I know people are going to be streaming this. Anyway, boss, if you're going to watch it, do it. If you're not, then I don't know.